I can understand why he's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. Man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk, even with the black eye. I said, you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised.
The intensifying feud between President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk has gripped the nation, escalating from a policy dispute into a deeply personal and potentially litigious battle. Initially sparked by Musk's sharp criticism of Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, a Republican tax and spending package that slashed electric vehicle subsidies, threatening Tesla's bottom line, the conflict has taken a dramatic turn. Musk's provocative claim on X, alleging Trump's presence in unreleased Jeffrey Epstein files, has fueled a firestorm, prompting Trump to threaten a defamation lawsuit and the termination of billions in government contracts with Musk's companies, including SpaceX and Tesla. This explosive clash, amplified by the raw immediacy of social media, has not only fractured a once cordial alliance, but also sent shockwaves through financial markets, with Tesla's stock plummeting 14% amid fears of lost federal support. The feud stakes are monumental, intertwining political power, corporate fortunes, and personal reputations. Trump, a polarizing figure with a history of legal battles, faces off against Musk, the enigmatic innovator whose X platform has become the arena for their public sparring. As accusations of betrayal and baseless claims swirl, the Epstein allegations, a murky web of speculation tied to the late financier's notorious network, add a layer of intrigue that captivates onlookers. The threatened lawsuit, if pursued, could hinge on proving Musk's claims were knowingly false, a challenging prospect given Trump's documented social ties to Epstein in the 1990s. Meanwhile, the potential loss of contracts threatens Musk's empire, raising questions about the stability of his ventures. This clash of titans, blending ego, power, and unproven allegations, underscores the volatility of high-stakes alliances and promises to reshape public perceptions of both men for years to come. The feud between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk erupted over a seemingly routine policy disagreement, but swiftly spiraled into a deeply personal and public confrontation. The initial flashpoint was Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, a sweeping Republican tax and spending package that eliminated critical electric vehicle subsidies, a move that could cost Tesla, Musk's flagship company, billions in revenue. Musk, known for his outspoken presence on X, didn't hold back, publicly slamming the bill as a disaster for innovation and a direct attack on the clean energy sector. His posts, laced with sharp criticism, accused the legislation of prioritizing short-term political wins over long-term technological progress, igniting Trump's ire. The president, who has long touted the bill as a cornerstone of his economic agenda, took Musk's critique as a personal betrayal, especially given Musk's prior support for Trump's campaign. What began as a policy dispute quickly escalated beyond the realm of legislation. Musk, leveraging his influence on X, shifted from critiquing the bill to launching a provocative personal attack, alleging that Trump's name appears in the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein files and suggesting this was why the documents remained sealed. This explosive claim, posted on X as "time to drop the really big bomb," at Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public, lacked evidence but sent shockwaves through political and financial circles. The accusation transformed the feud into a high-stakes spectacle, drawing intense scrutiny from both supporters and critics of the two men. Trump, incensed by what he called a baseless smear, responded with fury on Truth Social, branding Musk crazy and threatening to retaliate with legal action and the termination of billions in government contracts tied to SpaceX and Tesla. The rapid escalation from a policy disagreement to personal accusations underscored the volatile dynamic between the two, amplified by their massive platforms and unfiltered rhetoric. Musk's pivot to the Epstein files, a topic steeped in conspiracy and intrigue, not only heightened the feud's visibility, but also raised questions about his motives, especially given his own past associations with Epstein's circle. This clash, now far beyond tax policy, has become a public battleground, shaking markets and captivating onlookers across the globe. In a now infamous X post, Elon Musk lobbed a grenade into his escalating feud with President Donald Trump, alleging "time to drop the really big bomb" at Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. This audacious claim, devoid of any substantiating evidence, sent shockwaves through political, financial, and social media spheres, igniting a firestorm of outrage and speculation. Musk's accusation implied that Trump, leveraging his political influence, was actively suppressing the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files to conceal his own involvement, a serious charge that rekindled public fascination with the late financier's notorious network of high-profile connections. The post's deliberate ambiguity, offering no concrete proof, left ample room for interpretation, allowing supporters and detractors to project their own narratives onto the explosive allegation. The Epstein files, tied to the convicted sex offender who died in 2019, have long been a lightning rod for conspiracy theories and speculation about the powerful figures in his orbit. Musk's claim, while lacking substantiation, tapped into this volatile public curiosity, amplifying its impact. The accusation not only escalated the personal stakes of the Trump-Musk feud, but also thrust their conflict into the broader cultural conversation about Epstein's legacy and the secrets his files might hold. Trump, incensed by what he called a baseless smear, reacted with fury on Truth Social, denouncing Musk's allegations as crazy and vowing to retaliate with legal action and threats to terminate billions in government contracts tied to Musk's companies. The post's fallout was immediate, fueling heated debates on X, where users speculated about the veracity of Musk's claims and the potential consequences for both men. Adding complexity, Musk's own past association with Epstein's circle, evidenced by a 2014 photo with Ghislaine Maxwell, raised questions about his motives in leveling such a charge. The ambiguity of the accusation, paired with its high-profile target, ensured it dominated headlines, further inflaming Trump's fury and setting the stage for a legal and financial showdown that could reshape their public images and influence. The feud between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk reached its most dramatic crescendo when Trump, in a fiery Truth Social post, vowed to sue Musk for defamation over his provocative Epstein allegations, marking a seismic escalation in their conflict. Labeling Musk's claim that Trump's name appears in the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein files as baseless and crazy, Trump accused the billionaire of not only spreading falsehoods, but also showing ingratitude for the political support he had received during Trump's campaign. President Trump asserted that Musk's accusations, posted on X, were deliberately damaging to his reputation, justifying legal action to hold Musk accountable. Trump's threat didn't stop at litigation. He also vowed to terminate billions in government contracts with Musk's companies, including SpaceX and Tesla, citing Musk's opposition to the One Big Beautiful Bill as a personal vendetta driven by the loss of electric vehicle subsidies. The dual threat of a lawsuit and contract cancellations sent shockwaves through financial markets, with Tesla's stock plummeting 14% as investor confidence wavered, though real-time data from the finance card above shows TSLA's current price at $295.14, reflecting a volatile period. The market reaction underscores the high stakes of the feud, as Tesla and SpaceX rely heavily on federal support for their operations. Trump's campaign team, led by Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, dismissed Musk's Epstein claims as an unfortunate episode, emphasizing Trump's focus on advancing his legislative agenda. However, the legal viability of Trump's defamation threat is uncertain. Legal experts note that proving defamation requires demonstrating that Musk's claims were made with actual malice, knowingly false, or with reckless disregard for the truth. A high bar given Trump's documented social ties to Epstein in the 1990s, including appearances in flight logs, though no evidence links him to Epstein's crimes. The lawsuit threat has sparked intense debate on X, with some users arguing it's a justified response to Musk's unsubstantiated claims, while others see it as a political maneuver to silence dissent. Musk's careful phrasing, framing his accusation as speculative, may complicate Trump's legal strategy, as it could be protected as opinion rather than fact. Regardless, the threat has elevated the feud into a public spectacle, blending personal animus, corporate consequences, and legal posturing, with both men's reputations and fortunes hanging in the balance. In a dramatic escalation of his feud with Elon Musk, President Donald Trump amplified his retaliation beyond a defamation lawsuit, threatening to terminate billions of dollars in government contracts with Musk's flagship companies, SpaceX and Tesla. In a scathing Truth Social post, Trump branded Musk crazy and accused him of opposing the One Big Beautiful Bill, a Republican tax and spending package that eliminated electric vehicle subsidies, out of personal financial motives rather than principled concern for innovation. Trump's threat to sever federal contracts, which are vital to SpaceX's partnerships with NASA and the Department of Defense, as well as Tesla's reliance on government incentives, represents a direct assault on Musk's corporate empire. The move has sent shockwaves through Wall Street, with Tesla's stock plummeting 14%, current TSLA price $295.40, reflecting ongoing volatility, signaling investor fears over the potential loss of federal support that underpins both companies' operations. SpaceX, a linchpin in America's space exploration efforts, depends heavily on NASA contracts for missions like crewed lunar landings and satellite launches, valued at billions annually. Similarly, Tesla has benefited from federal tax credits and grants that bolster its electric vehicle production and market competitiveness. Trump's threat, if realized, could disrupt SpaceX's role in high-profile projects like the Artemis program and jeopardize Tesla's financial stability, potentially triggering layoffs, production cuts, or shifts in global operations. Financial analysts warn that the ripple effects could extend beyond Musk's companies, unsettling the broader aerospace and clean energy sectors, which rely on stable government partnerships. On X, reactions to Trump's contract threats are polarized. Some users applaud Trump's aggressive stance, viewing it as a justified response to Musk's provocative Epstein allegations, while others decry it as a dangerous abuse of power that could harm American innovation. Musk so far has not directly addressed the contract threats on X, but his allies argue that such punitive actions could face legal challenges, citing the need for due process in contract terminations. The threat has heightened the stakes of the feud, transforming it from a personal spat into a high-stakes battle with far-reaching economic consequences. As Trump pushes his legislative agenda and Musk defends his corporate interests, the specter of contract cancellations looms large, testing the resilience of Musk's empire and the limits of political retribution. The Jeffrey Epstein files tied to the convicted sex offender who died in 2019 remain a potent source of controversy, fueling speculation about the powerful figures in his orbit. Elon Musk's explosive X post alleging that President Donald Trump's name appears in these unreleased files and that Trump's influence keeps them sealed has thrust the Epstein saga back into the spotlight, intensifying their feud. However, Musk's claim lacks any substantiating evidence, relying on insinuation rather than fact. Trump and Epstein were known social acquaintances in the 1990s, with Trump appearing in Epstein's flight logs and once describing him as a terrific guy in a 2002 interview. Despite these ties, no credible evidence has ever implicated Trump in Epstein's criminal activities, which involve the trafficking and abuse of minors. Musk's accusation, while provocative, is complicated by his own tangential connection to Epstein's circle. Critics on X argue that Musk's claim may be a strategic deflection or an attempt to capitalize on the Epstein files' mystique to damage Trump's reputation. The files themselves, partially released over the years, contain names of prominent individuals, but their full contents remain sealed, fueling endless conspiracy theories. The murky history of both men with Epstein adds a layer of intrigue to the feud, amplifying public fascination and skepticism. On X, users debate whether Musk's allegation holds weight or is merely a provocative jab in a personal vendetta. Trump's team has dismissed the claim as baseless, emphasizing his cooperation with past Epstein investigations. The lack of concrete evidence on either side keeps the Epstein connection mired in speculation, yet its invocation has escalated the Trump-Musk clash into a cultural flashpoint, blending fact, rumor, and the enduring enigma of Epstein's legacy. The high-profile clash between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk has reverberated through financial markets, triggering significant volatility and investor unease. Tesla's stock, a bellwether for Musk's empire, plummeted 14% amid the feud, with its current price at $295.04 per the finance card above, reflecting fears over Trump's threats to eliminate federal subsidies and contracts critical to Tesla's growth. The One Big Beautiful Bill, which axes electric vehicle subsidies, could cost Tesla billions, threatening its ability to scale production and maintain competitive pricing in the EV market. Investors, already wary of Tesla's high valuation, market cap $1.12 trillion, are now grappling with the prospect of reduced federal support, which has been a cornerstone of Tesla's financial strategy. The stock's volatility, ranging from a year high of $488.54 to a low of $167.41, underscores the market's sensitivity to this escalating conflict. SpaceX, Musk's aerospace juggernaut, faces equally daunting risks. Heavily reliant on NASA and Department of Defense contracts for missions like crewed lunar landings and satellite launches, SpaceX's financial stability could be jeopardized by Trump's threat to terminate billions in federal agreements. These contracts, valued in the billions annually, are critical to SpaceX's role in projects like the Artemis program and national security satellite deployments. Analysts warn that any disruption could not only cripple SpaceX's operations, but also delay U.S. space exploration goals, sending ripples through the aerospace sector. The broader implications of this feud are alarming Wall Street. A prolonged conflict could destabilize both Tesla and SpaceX, with potential fallout for the tech and aerospace industries, which rely on government partnerships and investor confidence. Posts on X reflect divided sentiment. Some investors see Trump's threats as political posturing, while others fear tangible economic damage. Financial analysts caution that the uncertainty could lead to reduced investment in clean energy and space innovation, sectors Musk has championed. The market's jittery response, evident in Tesla's sharp decline and broader sector unease, highlights the high stakes of this personal and political showdown. As Trump and Musk continue their public war, investors are bracing for further turbulence, with the potential for significant economic consequences looming large over both companies and their respective industries. President Donald Trump's threat to sue Elon Musk for defamation over his Epstein-related allegations has sparked intense debate about the legal viability of such a case, with experts highlighting significant hurdles. To succeed in a defamation lawsuit, Trump must prove that Musk's X post, claiming Trump's name is in the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein files and implying he's suppressing their release, was made with actual malice, meaning Musk knew the statement was false or acted with reckless disregard for its truth. This standard, established by the landmark New York Times v. Sullivan case, sets a high bar for public figures like Trump, whose past social ties to Epstein, including appearances in flight logs from the 1990s, are well documented, though no evidence links him to Epstein's crimes. Musk's careful phrasing, framing the claim as speculative, that is the real reason they have not been made public, could further shield him from liability, as courts often protect opinions or ambiguous statements that don't assert verifiable facts. Legal analysts are divided on the case's prospects. Some argue that Musk's lack of evidence and the inflammatory nature of his post could expose him to liability if Trump can demonstrate reputational harm, such as political or financial fallout. Others contend that Musk's status as a provocateur on X, combined with the public's awareness of Epstein-related speculation, makes it unlikely Trump could prove malice or falsity. Trump's public figure status complicates matters further, this requiring a higher threshold of proof than for private individuals, a challenge given the absence of released Epstein files to definitively refute Musk's claim. Additionally, Musk's legal team could argue his post falls under free speech protections, especially since it was framed as a hypothesis rather than a factual assertion. Despite these hurdles, the lawsuit threat serves as a potent public relations weapon for Trump. By framing Musk's accusation as a betrayal and a lie, Trump rallies his base and shifts focus from the Epstein controversy to Musk's credibility, especially given Musk's own past association with Ghislaine Maxwell. On X, opinions are split. Some users see the lawsuit as a justified response to a baseless smear, while others view it as an attempt to silence dissent. Even if the case faces legal obstacles, its mere threat amplifies the feud's stakes, leveraging Trump's combative style to keep Musk on the defensive in this high-profile clash. The Trump-Musk feud has unfolded dramatically on X, transforming the platform into a real-time arena for their high-stakes clash, with posts garnering millions of views. Musk's initial bombshell, alleging Trump's presence in the Epstein files, sparked a frenzy, while Trump's fiery Truth Social retorts threatening lawsuits and contract terminations were quickly amplified on X, fueling intense public engagement. The platform's unfiltered nature has allowed both figures to bypass traditional media, directly shaping narratives with their provocative rhetoric. X users are sharply divided. Some champion Trump's legal threat, arguing Musk's unsubstantiated claims warrant accountability, while others defend Musk's right to free speech, viewing his post as speculative commentary rather than defamation. Posts speculating on the lawsuit's outcome range from legal analyses to conspiracy theories, reflecting X's role as a breeding ground for polarized discourse. The platform's real-time dynamics have amplified the feud's visibility, turning each post into a viral event that influences public perception and market reactions, with Tesla's stock volatility tied to the online firestorm. X's influence as a battleground underscores its power to shape narratives, escalate conflicts, and keep the world watching as Trump and Musk wage their war of words, reputations, and fortunes. Once allies in a shared vision of bold leadership, President Donald Trump and Elon Musk have seen their relationship implode in a stunning reversal, with their feud marking a dramatic fracture in a once cordial alliance. Musk's vocal support during Trump's campaign, including endorsements and financial backing, had positioned him as a key figure in Trump's orbit, amplifying his influence among conservative voters. However, the clash over Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, which slashed electric vehicle subsidies critical to Tesla, ignited a rift that quickly turned personal, with Musk's provocative X post alleging Trump's involvement in the unreleased Jeffrey Epstein files. Trump's retaliatory threats, vowing to sue Musk for defamation and terminate billions in government contracts with SpaceX and Tesla, have transformed their falling out into a public spectacle, highlighting the volatility of personal and political alliances under the glare of public scrutiny. The feud's escalation has far-reaching implications. As Trump pushes forward with his tax and spending legislation, dismissing Musk's criticisms as self-serving, Musk has doubled down on his attacks, framing Trump's policies as detrimental to innovation. The threat of lawsuits looms large, with Trump seeking to protect his reputation against Musk's unsubstantiated Epstein claims, though legal experts question the case's viability due to the high bar for defamation. Equally significant is Trump's threat to cancel federal contracts, which could cripple SpaceX's NASA partnerships and Tesla's financial stability, sending Tesla's stock down 14%, current price $295.04, and raising alarms on Wall Street. Whether this feud culminates in a courtroom showdown or fizzles out remains uncertain, but its impact is already profound. It has reshaped public perceptions of both men, Trump as the combative deal-maker and Musk as the provocative disruptor, while exposing the fragility of alliances built on mutual convenience. The consequences could ripple for years, potentially altering the trajectory of Tesla and SpaceX, reshaping U.S. innovation policy, and redefining political loyalties. As the dust settles, the Trump-Musk saga stands as a cautionary tale of how quickly trust can erode, leaving lasting scars on America's political and economic landscape.